Chapter 19. Time Out. Miss Zarves taught the class on the 19th story. There is no 19th story, and there is no Miss Zarves. You already know all that. But how do you explain the cow in her classroom? Miss Zarves drew a triangle on the blackboard. A triangle has 3 sides, she said, then pointed to each side. 1, 2, 3. She drew a square. A square has 4 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. She walked around the cow to the other side of the board. She drew a pentagon, a hexagon, and a perfect heptagon. A heptagon has 7 sides, she said. Miss Zarves was very good at drawing shapes. When most people try to draw heptagons, there is always one side that sticks out funny. But Miss Zarves' heptagon was perfect. Every side was the same length, and every angle the same degree. It was a great talent, but nobody appreciated her. Nobody appreciated anything she did. It was like they didn't even know she was there. She counted the sides on the heptagon. 1, 2, 3, 4. "Moo!" said the cow. Miss Zarves dropped her chalk. She glared at the cow. "I don't like this," she shouted. It was a brown cow with a white head. "It's all right, Miss Zarves," said Virginia, her best student. "I'll get the chalk for you." "No," said Miss Zarves. "Leave it where it is. The cow made me drop the chalk. The cow should pick it up." The children gaped at her. "I will not continue," said Miss Zarves, "until that cow picks up the piece of chalk and draws an octagon on the board." She folded her arms across her chest, stared at the cow, and waited. Ray raised his hand. "Yes, Ray," said Miss Zarves, arms still folded across her chest. Cows can't pick up chalk," said Ray. Miss Zarves sighed. "I know," she said, "and I can't teach with a cow in my classroom." No one had ever seen Miss Zarves so upset. She usually had such a pleasant disposition. "It's okay, Miss Zarves," said Virginia. "I don't mind the cow." "You get used to it after a while," said Ray. "What cow?" asked Nick. "Oh, that one? I forgot it was there." Miss Zarves smiled. She knew her students were trying to make her feel better. "Other classrooms have goldfish or hamsters," said Virginia. "It's really no different." "No," said Miss Zarves. "I won't have it. All my life I've tried to be accommodating. I've never been one to complain. And what has it gotten me? A cow!" She shook her head. "When I was a little girl, my friends never did what I wanted to do," she said. "I always had to do what they wanted to do. And my teacher never called on me in class. She always called on the kids who just shouted out without raising their hands, even though she said she wouldn't. She'd say, 'I won't call on you if you don't raise your hand,' but then she always did anyway. But I was a good girl. I never shouted out. And she always did things alphabetically, so I was always last, as if there was any time for me at all. My parents were too busy for me. They were always dressing up and going to fancy parties. I had to tuck myself in at night and wish myself sweet dreams." She took a tissue out of her sleeve and wiped a tear from her eye. "Still, I always tried to keep a smile on my face. Well, not anymore. The days of walk all over Miss Zarves are finished." She threw open her classroom door. "The squeaky wheel gets the grease." "What are you going to do?" asked Virginia. "I'm going out there," said Miss Zarves, "and I'm not coming back until I get some grease." She stepped outside. She decided she'd go right to the top, so she headed down the stairs to the principal's office. Joy and Mauricio were coming up the stairs. Miss Zarves stepped in front of them. "What are you children doing out of class?" she asked. Neither girl answered her. "I asked you a question," said Miss Zarves. "I'm a teacher. That means you're supposed to listen to me." Joy and Mauricio walked right past her. Miss Zarves sighed, then continued down to Mr. Kidswatter's office. She took a deep breath to steady her nerves. She was about to knock, but changed her mind and just marched in. "Mr. Kidswatter, I want to talk to you." The principal was making a rubber band ball. "Do you hear me?" asked Miss Zarves. He opened his desk drawer and looked for some more rubber bands. "If you don't answer me right now," said Miss Zarves, "I'm walking out the door and never coming back." Mr. K pressed the buzzer on his phone. "Miss Knight, you need to order more rubber bands." "That's it," said Miss Zarves. "I'm leaving. Goodbye. I quit." She walked out of the school and took a deep breath of fresh air. "Please don't go, Miss Zarves," said a voice behind her. Startled, she turned around. "We need you," said a bald-headed man. He was standing between two other men. Both had black mustaches, and one carried a black attaché case. The bald man didn't have a mustache. "Can you see me?" she asked. "Yes, of course," said the bald man, "and we appreciate all your hard work." "You do?" All three nodded very sincerely. Miss Zarves was touched. "I've been teaching for 30 years, she said, "and nobody has ever said that before." "Well, it's not easy being a teacher," said the bald man. "I don't get any respect," said Miss Zarves. "People treat me like I'm a nobody." "It's not easy being a teacher," said the man with the attaché case. "You have to work long hours for very little money." "I've never gotten paid," said Miss Zarves, "and this is the first time in 30 years I've ever left the building." "It's not easy being a teacher," agreed the other man with the mustache. "Even the book I'm reading to my class," said Miss Zarves, "the author makes fun of teachers." "It's a tragedy," said the bald man. "Then why do it?" asked Miss Zarves. "Why teach any more? I could quit and nobody would care." "The children need you," all three men said together. Miss Zarves sighed. "I like to teach," she said. "I really do. I love the children. It's just—" She stopped and wiped her eyes. The man with the attaché case opened it. He took out a handkerchief and handed it to Miss Zarves. "Thank you," she said, blew her nose, then gave it back to him. He placed it back in his attaché case. "Can you at least get the cow out of my classroom?" she asked. The bald man smiled. "I'll see what I can do," he said. Miss Zarves smiled as she slowly shook her head. Then she turned and walked back into the building.